Hello everyone and welcome to MBA 59602 Digital Marketing. This is going to be the spring 2019 class overview and introduction. And then I'm going to kind of go through the nuts and bolts about what makes how this class operate, how it works, how it goes through everything. And we're going to kind of discuss how it all puts together in the end, right? So, basically you can email me anytime. If you find anything confusing, shoot me an email at wmrand@ncsu.edu. You can also tweet at me at Bill Rand. I maintain a fairly active Twitter following there. My office is 2324 Nelson Hall. If you want to come and talk to me in person, I'm always happy to do that. Just shoot me an email so we can set something up. This class is all online, right? So all the content will be on Moodle with the videos up at youtube.com/BillRand. And of course, the YouTube channel, which I'll be putting the content up on as well, is at go.ncsu.edu/MBA590 YouTube. But if you go through the Moodle, that's probably the best way to do it because I've linked each of the videos separately so you can really see the videos that are relevant for that particular week. I'm also going to do office hours live on YouTube on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. You can find those at youtube.com/BillRand/live. If you shoot me questions ahead of time, I'll try and adjust them in there. If you get a chance to join the live stream, there's actually a little tool where you can type in questions as I'm streaming, and I'll do my best to get those answered. I also do office hours in person for my offline class on Tuesdays and Thursdays in my office at 12:45 p.m. That's just before my class at 1:30. So if you just want to drop in, that's usually a good time to do it. I should also mention that no matter how you're communicating with me, because I have an online and an offline version of the same class, it's very helpful for me if you mention in the email which section you're in or which class you're in, whether it be online or offline. A lot of the details are the same. I try and keep the two classes pretty much in sync, but sometimes they're not, so it's useful for me to know that. In terms of reading material, the only required reading material is going to be the weekly posts that I put up on Moodle. And these are really, a lot of times I don't even decide on these till the week before. I try and make them as up to speed as possible, as current as possible. So they're really kind of very relevant to what we're discussing. And then you're going to discuss those on TopHat with your colleagues. And so that's kind of a good way to kind of put together all that information. Now, supplementary, but highly recommended, is the e-marketing, the essential guide to online marketing. Used to be a company called Quirk. I think they're now officially changed over to Red and Yellow. They were going by both for a while. But there's a link to that directly on the Moodle. It's a free textbook. It's a big PDF. If you really want a hard copy, I'd suggest going to Kinko's and printing it out and putting it in a binder. That's probably the best way to do it. But it really is kind of the backup for this class. Like, it has all the materials in it that I'm using to base a lot of the questions and answers off of, and a lot of the discussion that we're going to do. Of course, in this class, I also listed some additional sources that I use a lot of times to think about digital marketing. 90% of what you do in this class, feel free to use any outside source, right? And if you find one you particularly like, let me know. I always like to find out about new sources, new places I should be reading, okay? The grading for this class, well, 50% of the grade comes from the group project, right? Actually, 60% of the grade comes from the group project. 50% is a group grade, right? So 30% is the written document you're going to turn in at the end of the semester that describes your digital marketing plan for a firm. And I have a couple of ideas, I always do, and I'll talk about those during office hours. So if you're looking for a group project, I highly recommend tuning into the office hours to find out about it. But we'll talk a little bit more about that as we come to the project more in depth in the next couple of weeks. 10% of your grade will be creative prototypes, right? So showing us the websites that you might build to support your digital marketing plan, showing us Facebook ads, showing us Google ads, showing us Instagram posts that you might do as part of the project. And another 10% will be a group project presentation. The way we'll do that is that you'll use whatever technology you want to call in. Usually, nowadays Zoom is available on the Moodle, so I can set that up pretty easily for all of you. And then we'll have you present to me at the end of the semester. Individual grades, well, part of it comes from the group project, so you will be peer reviewed by your other group members to determine part of your grade. And then you'll have two kind of exams, midterms, if you will. You'll have a conceptual assignment and an analytical assignment that you'll have to do throughout the course, and those kind of give you the individual differences that I need to really assign grades. And then 10% of your grade will be determined by participation. Let's talk about that for a second. So the expectation is that you will come to class each day, attend the online materials, having read the material ahead of time, ready to participate actively. To grade the participation, we'll be using TopHat. Basically, you need to go to tophat.com, and then you type in this code, and you can get enrolled in the course. If your TopHat participation score at the end of the semester is over 70%, you will receive full credit for participation. And I'm working with a teaching assistant who will kind of be going through and grading, double checking to make sure that you're making good contributions. What I don't want to see is you just contributing something like, I agree with what Bob said, or something like that. I want to see some in-depth contribution as to what you post for each of them. So for this week, you have a couple of little assignments I would love you to do. So first of all, go out and complete the course survey. This kind of just gives me an idea of what your background is, where you're coming from, all those kind of things, and what kind of digital marketing experience you have. Now, this is the one place I don't really want you to use external sources. So there's some questions about like, when was the email created? I'm just kind of curious what people think. So don't use any external sources for that. Just go ahead and read an answer. It's not graded anyway. Then I also need you to read the Wall Street Journal article and watch the video on augmented reality and contribute to the conversation on TopHat, right? And kind of go through all that. Finally, the first big assignment is to submit your preferred group team members by January 17th at 11:55 p.m. All of my assignments are going to be due on Thursdays around midnight. And the reason why is I'm just trying to keep this class in lockstep with the offline version of this class. As a supplement, if you want, you can read chapter 22 in the e-marketing textbook. This is the appendix. It kind of goes over some of the history of the internet and of digital marketing, and that's what we'll be discussing in the near future. So that's it for this week. Welcome to the course. I hope you really enjoy it. If you have any questions, you can email me at wmrand@ncsu.edu or tweet at me at BillRand. Thanks, everybody. Take care.